Hey everyone. This is Lori Mueller coming to you on Sunday, January 30th for another session of Stampin' Dreams with Lori, our Sunday Stampin' Dreams. So I am super excited. I say that every time. I'm always excited because I love what I do. To play with these Sale-A-Bration products. Hey Glenda, hi Neoma, so glad to have you here with me. Sale-A-Bration is in full swing. We have Sale-A-Bration during the month of January and then during the month of February. So we've only got about 30 more days yet to play with these fun products. And today I'm going to play with the Awesome Otters. They're so cute. You know, when I go to the zoo, the penguins and the otters are my go-to places because they are so stinking cute. I just love how they're diving and they're playful and, you know, they waddle, you know, the penguins, they waddle. And they're just so adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet, but I know that's unreal. But I was really happy to see the otters come, I'm gonna say come back, because one of the images, this one right here, was a similar one, was in a previous stamp set a while back. And it had such rave reviews that Stampin' Up! Decided to make a full set of its own, free with a $50 purchase for during Sale-A-Bration. And then we're gonna play with the beautiful Sunshine and Rainbow Designer Series paper, 6x6 paper pack, and then also the Special Moments set. There are 21 images in here. There are 21 sentiments that you can play with that fit so many different occasions. So between all of those, with a $50 purchase or a $100 purchase, because the Special Moments is a $100 purchase, you can get this for free. And then the other two are available with a $50 purchase each. So if you wanted to host a party and, you know, if you threw in an order of 150, you could get all three of those items for free with your party or with your individual order, however you want to mix and match your free selections. So Sale-A-Bration right here, still good for another 30 days. And there are so many cute, the papers were just outstanding. We've got a mix of 6x6 and 12x12, and then a good mix of stamp sets that are suitable for many styles and occasions. So, hey Jackie, hi Pam. Oh, it's so good to see everyone. And we got Linda, hi Linda, Sarah, Chris, and Julie. Hello everyone. So I had a request from my daughter. This is where my inspiration, I guess, came from. My daughter texted me Friday night, and said, do you have a baby shower card? It's like, so my first instinct is yes, when I really didn't. But it forced me to, you know, get right into pulling out my papers, my stamps, and ink. And I wanted to turn this Otter stamp set into a baby shower card and also incorporate a lot of the other free items that you can choose out of Sale-A-Bration. So I went to town and had some inspiration from the Sale-A-Bration catalog. There's one card in there. And then I also had seen another card online that kind of gave me a little bit more mix inspiration as well. So I have a combination of ideas that I joined together to create my baby shower card. And then it turned out that a half hour before she was going to stop by to pick it up, she had said that a friend of hers, I guess it ended up being some sort of a book type of gift card. I'm not certain. I'll have to ask her about it, but she didn't end up needing it. So, but you know, it got me creating, and I get to then keep my sample versus making another sample to share with you, and then show you how I put it all together. So super fun. And I'm going to throw in a couple elements from the one from the annual catalog and then one from the new mini, the January through June mini catalog. So there's some elements of all three catalogs built into one beautiful little card, super cute card. So I am coming to you on Sunday, January 30th. So if you're just joining me live, you will see the red button up in the corner. Otherwise, if you're joining me on the replay, thank you so much. I hope you will find it just as enjoyable. If you have any questions, leave comments. If you would be so kind to share my video with others so that we can join more individuals, stampers, men, women, children, to be creative and crafty along with us. So I think on that note, I am ready to stamp. I hope you are too. Oh, Julie, I love the otters too. Aren't they just so stinking cute? Their little whiskers and just the little noises that they make and their playfulness. They are just, just super, super cute. So I'm ready to share this card with you. All right, so let's bump us down to my station here. And as I had mentioned, let me get us a little straightened around here. The Sale-A-Bration is in full swing, and we've only got another 30 days or so. And you're going to find these products. So the Awesome Otters are on page 11, and then they always have a number of samples to share with you. The Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper. Look at all those different patterns. So many different colors, and those are all listed right here. What colors coordinate for your cardstocks and inks and markers and ribbons and all that good stuff. And then, of course, they have more samples. And then the last stamp set that I am focusing on or including with my card is this Special Moments stamp set. It's 21 photopolymer, and you can choose this one with your $100 purchase. And again, they've got more samples to share with you on how you can incorporate. But look at the different variety of occasions that you can choose from. There's thanks, hang in there, there's sympathy, birthday. You've got them all covered in one free stamp set with your $100 purchase. So for today's project, I'm going to use the majority of items out of my Sale-A-Bration catalog. And then if you want to place a minimum order, because I'll be giving out card kits for your minimum $35 purchase, you'll get 4 cards, 2 designs, and two each of those designs. Just use this host code, and you're going to need the Awesome Otters, the fun Rainbows or Sunshine and Rainbow Designer Series paper, and then the Special Moments. But again, this can be created for any occasion. So if you already have a sentiment set in your stash, then that will be workable as well. So today's card is right here. Super cute. I've got it on a thick, basic white card base, and I'm using one of the patterns. And I don't do this very often, to where I cover my entire card front with a designer series paper. I don't know why. It's just not my nature to do so, but I'll share with you where I got my inspiration to do this. And see this card right here? This is my primary inspiration. And so instead of adding the sentiment, I added my little otter and then included my sentiment from the Special Moments set here at the bottom. Now it says big congratulations, but it can be for anything really. You could have this as a retirement or promotion with a job. But in this case, I chose to kind of set it up as a baby shower card, because the mommy-to-be is really close to delivering, and so she's going to have a huge congratulations coming her way. And then, of course, I threw in some Stampin' blends. We've got Crumb Cake, the Petal Pink, and a little bit of Calypso Coral on the nose. and we're popping up some things and also pulling in the iridescent rhinestones that are in the current mini catalog. And they come in 3 different sizes, but I just chose 2 of the different sizes. And then of course our wonderful Whisper White 1/4 inch crinkled seam binding, which is in the main catalog. And then I love to, let's see if I can get it to glare on you, but of course it's not going to shine, but I did do some heat embossing with Bermuda Bay on the sentiment. So, all right, I think it's time to get started. So we'll put that aside and bring in all of the supplies that we need and lay those there. And I went ahead and wrote out all of the measurements. So I'll leave this so that you can snip it. And then here are some more of the supplies that I used. So here I wrote down the Sale-A-Bration products that are used in today. So the first 2 you can get with a $50 purchase, and the last one you can get with a $100 purchase. All right, so we are working with a thick basic white and then a variety of designer series paper patterns. So for my strips, this is what the one side looks like, and here's what the reverse side looks like. So they're so vivid and bold and just really fun overall. So to begin, let's go ahead and fold and burnish our card base. And I like to use a bone folder because I don't really want to use my fingernails. Kind of, sometimes it can be, hurting, if you have arthritis or anything of that nature. So a bone folder is a great tool to have. And then again, I chose to cut the designer paper the same width and height as the card base, which ends up being 5.5 by 5 or 4 1/4. So 5.5, 4 1/4. Talking too fast that I can't keep up with my measurements there. And my go-to adhesive is liquid adhesive, and this works really great when you are trying to line up something just right, because it stays liquid for just a smidgen of time that allows you to manipulate and kind of smush or scooch, or however you want to word it, into place. So there we have that part. Next up, I want to, let's do some of our inking. We'll go ahead and ink up our otter. But I think this time I'm going to use this little guy right here, because it does look like, a little mommy otter holding, I know it's a fish, but hey, there's adoptions out there, right? So you can't say that this otter is not taking care of this little baby fish that he found running around in the waters all by himself. So I'm going to put this little guy to work and showcase it as an adoption type of otter. All right, so we're going to ink it up really well with our Memento Basic Black, or Tuxedo Black actually. There we go, nice and solid. And you want to cover this up really fast, because it will, if you leave it open for a longer period of time, it tends to dry out faster. But as long as you've got your re-inkers, that you're good to go. So I'm going to, I'm going to let this dry. It'll dry really fast, but I like to be safe and just make certain that it's extra dry before I start using my alcohol markers on it, and to avoid any bleeding. Although alcohol markers and Memento are 2 inks that are meant to work together and not do any bleeding, but I just like to set it aside since I know I've got another stamp image to work with. So to get my ink color, Bermuda Bay, because classic ink does dry very quickly. To avoid having to run, you know, from ink to stamping to adding your embossing powder, this is my fun little trick. I like to ink up my image with Versamark first, just like you normally would, and then I'm going to ink it up a couple times in my Bermuda Bay. Then stamp. And because of the ink, the Versamark, it won't dry as fast as if I didn't have the Versamark on there. Okay, so with the help of the Versamark, it'll stay tacky longer to grasp all of the powder, the clear powder that I'm putting on there. And you want to be liberal. You don't want to be very light-handed pouring your embossing powder onto your image. And we'll go ahead and close those up. And then bring in our heat tool. And I'm going to go on high and start one. I don't do this number. I like to start with a point and then watch it get darker. See how it darkens as the heat melts that embossing powder on there. And then I like to come in from behind and give it one little final hit. And I think I got it all. Now, if it had any dullness or, you know, you can see how it's glimmering in the camera here. If there was any dullness, that means that the powder is not quite melted yet. So we'll set that aside. We'll snip that off. I just had a long strip that was sitting there, so it was nice to bring that out. All right, now we can bring our little guy back, and I'm coloring him with Crumb Cake, light and dark. I've got my Calypso Coral, light and dark, and then I have Petal Pink, light and dark. So I'm using both elements of shading to color in my cute little otter. So I like to start with the dark color first, and you're going to want to make certain that you have something underneath the surface that you're coloring, because it will bleed and just save your table surface or anything else that you have underneath it. So I'm going to use the chisel end and kind of highlight on some of these areas where Stampin' Up! Has already given us some areas that look like there's some shading. But I'm going to throw in a little bit of shading here and along the center belly area like that, and then across the top like that. And now with this next phase, you could use the brush end or the chisel end, but when I'm blending, there are times that I like to, because it's so narrow here, I don't want to color in the eyeball. I'll just do a little bit of that to gives me room to color around it and not go outside of the lines or color areas with the thick brush, because this thick brush is fairly thick. But I love my point on there because I can get into tight little small areas that maybe a chisel might be too wide to get in there. But I'm gonna kind of blend out these lines right here, and I'll go in a circular motion like that, kind of blend that out, and just keep working my way around the toes. Come back up here with the hands. So our temperatures, I've got the East Coast, everyone who is battling the snow bomb that has come through or is still hitting you with snowfall. I don't mean to rub this in, but we actually had 60-degree temperatures here yesterday, which was crazy. And then we're back down to, we woke up to below freezing, and I think the high is maybe 30 something today. And then we'll be back up to 60 something again tomorrow. So our temperatures are just very fickle and floating all over the place. So if you are on the East Coast and you're battling this snow, having to go out and do a lot of scooping, my heart goes out to you because I know what that's like. Although we haven't experienced it at all, really, this year, which is kind of odd for Nebraska. We always usually have a really good snowfall that leaves, dumps a huge amount of snow. So I think I'm going to kind of level that out just a smidgen right there. And then bring in a little bit more color with the fingers and the toes. Because you can, even though this is the light color, you can come back over and you can see the different shading right here. Right there, where I added more ink. So the more times you go over it, the darker it's gonna get for you. So that is how you can add more color. Now the belly is going to be our petal pink, and again I'm going to give it a little bit of coloring along the outer edge of the belly. Give it some dark, and then I'll come in with the lighter color like this, and give it a little shading right there, and maybe right under this fish. Give it a little bit right there. Now here I did do my brush end, and because there are so many fine points that I want to use my tip to fill in the color, but I can still do the swirling or the circular motion to blend the dark color. Because like right here is some really fine, and like that. And if you feel like you need to add a little bit more color, the darker color, you can always come in with the chisel end again, or however you want, and add more accent along that edge. I think and then I'll blend it just a little bit more like that. And there we go. And then our fish is going to be Calypso Coral. And, ooh, don't know where that all came from. So, do a little bit of highlighting here and there. And I'm using the fine tip again. I don't need to color in or do a lot of blending really. Like that. And I'll use the light for the nose. If I wanted to add a little bit more right there, there we go, like that. Ooh. And then I see that I forgot his ear over on this side. All right, I think I got it all. And then from here, I would hand cut going around my whole image, but to kind of save time, I have already done one. So I've already cut one out that we'll go ahead and use. And then also for our sentiment, I like to cut around the words, but I have already done that as well. So I've already hand cut, just using my paper snips and using, you can if you wanted, you could put a nice fine pencil marking around that to kind of help guide you around it, or just, you know, use your own thoughts on what parts that you want to kind of go in on, like around the O. You know, I kind of went in on the C and then around the O, or you can just do straight lines, however you want to hand cut that out. So I've already done that, so that we're gonna save a little bit of time. So I move these aside, and we'll work on our vellum layer and assembling everything together. But the one thing that I didn't do is cut out what clouds that I want to use for this particular card. And I think I had decided, because I wanted to try and utilize this one because it's going to be hidden behind the circle right here. I could get some use out of this one, or I could still use this one, and this one's been cut off, so I wouldn't be able to use that, and then use this particular one. So I could, let's see, I'm going to use this one, so we'll go ahead and cut around that. And that's the fun part, you know, with this designer series paper, that you can hand cut and incorporate into your creations. There's no stamping or anything, it's already done for you. Or you can just use it as a whole background to your card. That works as well. So we'll quickly zoom around these little clouds. And the other thing that I'm just loving is my logo is this cloud. I feel like this designer paper is made just for me, but it's pretty close to my image. I'm gonna finish snipping around this piece. See, look at my little cloud, right? So I got that, and then, so we'll use this one down here, and we won't be able to use that one. Let's see, which other one do we want to use? We could use this one up there and then this one down here. How about we do that? All right, so because you can still get some great use out of these that are bordering the edges of any pack. You just have to be strategic in placement of it. All right. And I'm just giving a small little white border. And working around. So, do I have any NFL fans with us today? If so, I'm going to tell you, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. Because they're local, pretty much, to where I live, and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, today they're battling against Cincinnati with Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback as well. So it's going to be a great game, but I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, he's got my heart, and he's not bad to look at either, but I tell you what, he has some amazing plays that has really kept the fan base on edge and sitting on the edge of their seats. So I don't know. I'm hoping that they'll pull it off and bring another Super Bowl to the Midwest area. So, but if you are into watching these last two games that are playing today, let me know who you're rooting for. Who would you like to see bring home the Super Bowl? It's always fun to have little fun rivals with your friends. All right, so I think, yeah, we're gonna do this. We'll have that, and then this one down here. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do is the banner end cut, and we're gonna use this particular punch. Oh my gosh, is it the, I can't remember the name of it now. I'm gonna call it the double banner punch, because I've kind of somewhat forgotten what the name of it is. And I'm gonna slip it in there. I have it, oh, so similar to the edging. It's a 1/2 inch, and I'm just gonna, like that, and punch. Now to get it out of there. There we go, like that. I love that punch. And I want to shorten this piece a smidgen so that it's not the same length as this piece, just to give it a little more visible contrast. And when I created this card, I wasn't paying attention to the size circle that I wanted. So I cut, because the 6x6 paper, it was easy to cut it into, whoops, this one, cut it into a 1/2 inch strip and then cut it in half by 3, and then that would give me 2 of the strips. But it wasn't long enough to give me a great visual on either side of my circle. So I'll show you a cheater trick that I implemented. So I'm going to, like that. Oop. If I can pick it up without, because I want to keep it at an angle. Like that. So while that's drying, why don't we go ahead and put some dimensionals on our little otter. And I'm going to use some of our minis because I have so many packages of these. I don't know if I had shared this before, but when I placed an order for dimensionals, I plugged in the wrong number. And so I have a ton of these minis right here, which is good. It's okay. And then I want to add a little bit to the tail. So I'm going to cut off a strip of a previous full pack right there. Oh, I want to have the angle towards the bottom. There we go. And we'll put one down the center just so that he's nice and stable in there. Or she, however. All right, so we can go ahead and I think also too, because I'm going to change this one up just a smidgen. Instead of doing one of my favorite things, a fork bow, I'm going to actually wrap my crinkled ribbon around my circle, and we're going to create a bow on the opposite side. So I'll go ahead and, so we'll get our little otter out of the way. So I'm going to change this one up just a smidgen, just to show you, a couple different views and how easy it is to change up a creation using the same products. All right, oop. And we'll go like that. And see if I can get my tail on this side to come down. There we go. Just like that. Yeah. Now, because I love to do fork bows, and that's what I had done on my other card. All right, so now depending on, I think I'll leave my bow at this end. Now I can bring in my cute little otter and attach it to my circle. There we go. Just like that. So cute. Oh my goodness. And then I want to add this piece to the back side. But see how short my tails were? So what I did is let's see, I went heavy on this side. I snipped it just like that. And then knowing where my ribbon is at, I can extend it, give it a little extension. So if you have a boo-boo like that, it's easy to fix. And then I just used a guide like that and added adhesive on this end, like that. And I used my one designer paper that is on the straight edge, but this time I want to come out like this to give it extension, right? And then flip it over, and there we go. Now I could probably, I'm going to come in just a smidgen on this. And we're going to, I'm going to move it up just a bit. There we go. Just to make certain I'm kind of straight. Yep, and then no one will ever know that I made a boo-boo and had my strips cut even short. So this is how that is a great remedy. And then we're going to bring in our cloud. So we'll add adhesive on our cloud and attach it to the back like that. So this is another way that you can use a pattern that kind of falls on the edge of a paper pack. And then we'll bring in this image under here. So we'll just add a little bit of adhesive here at the top and kind of give us some placement here like that. Voila. Fun, fun, fun. Now, the reason I am not adhering it to my vellum yet is because I am going to raise up, let's see, this piece is going to fit onto the vellum, just like that. So I'm going to straighten this out a little. Now I can adhere all of this to my vellum piece. So I had to kind of put my little story together here. And I can put adhesive on all areas. And I'm not going to do the tail end because I'm going to have it extend out just a smidgen. There we go. And then it'll go on top of here. But before that, I want to place this piece on the vellum. And we're going to go outside of the border of the vellum. Now to pop the whole thing up, because dimensionals can be seen through the vellum, I'm going to use all these areas as my hiding places per se. So I'm going to add dimensionals on all the areas that are going to be hidden by designer paper, just like that. And I'll do some areas here just to try and get as much popped up as I can. And right in there and here. And then I can come in with an area there. Because I want to try and get as much support as I can. that. And there we go. That looks good. And then that'll be the part that will help it pop up off of my card front. So that's kind of a fun little trick, that if you have your whole focal point on the vellum, then you can use that to hide the locations of your dimensionals. All right, there we go. And then I just centered it on the card front, like that. And then I have my sentiment. Oh, you can see where I boo-booed, so. But hey, there's always two sides, right? So I'll just do some slivers of the mini dimensional end, like that. And then I can come in with a mini over here by the congratulations, just to give it a little bit more coverage. All right. And then I didn't give myself as much room down here, but I can come off the edge right there. Whoop. Come on. There we go. All right. And now the last part is to bring in our bling. The Iridescent Rhinestones. Look at the beauty. And then there's 3 different sizes, small, medium, and large. And we'll bring in the take your pick tool and just strategically place these wherever you want to add a little bling. And this was for the young woman is having a little boy. So I felt that these colors, pool party, was, let's see, we'll go down on this part right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to go in odd numbers. It's easier on the eyeballs. So here we are. So I'll give my little bow some poof, like that. And bring in our other one right here. So cute. What do you think? Which one do you like? The right one or the left one? This little guy or this little guy? Or mommy in this case, because we're having it for a baby shower, right? So super, super cute. And then as another piece of inspiration for what I have designed for anybody who places a minimum $35 order using this host code, you'll be getting the supplies to make 2 of this particular card and then 2 of another one using the Awesome Otters and the Designer Series paper. But this is going to be the little thank you card that goes out with those kits. So here's another way to use the Otters. And I did bring in the special moments. It's got a cute little thanks sentiment right there. So I've got all of the fun, the Designer Series paper is right here for the Sunshine and Rainbows. Got the Otters, got the special moments, and then I threw in some of the texture that comes with this embossing folder pack. There's the splatters and then the stripes and splatters, and that is available in the mini catalog. But isn't that so cute? Oh, I love, love, love. But otherwise, yeah, this is our card for today, and show you a little bit of variation that you can use multiple images from the same stamp set and still have it focusing on the theme that you are pursuing in your original quest for creation. So, love, love, love. All right, so let's go ahead and flip us down and get your thoughts on, I think, I've got this glare, I think. Oh boy, it's crazy how that, there we go. So I guess I'll just sit back here. I don't know why it's why it's doing that today. So yeah, but anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate you spending some time with me on your Sunday afternoon, and I am hoping that you enjoyed my card. Give me some thumbs up, give me some love, share the video so that we can share our passion for paper crafting. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, and go Chiefs! So thank you, everyone. Bye.